After I finished my shower that evening, I settled into bed and picked up my phone, scrolling through short videos to unwind. That's when her face appeared on my screen, smiling sweetly. It was my neighbor Clara, a woman who had built a small following for herself online. She was quite well known in our building, and the photo she was holding in her video looked uncomfortably familiar. It was a picture of my husband Liam, though only half of his face was visible. In the video, she spoke in an excited, breathy voice. "This is my CEO neighbor," she began. "I fell by accident today and he helped me up. He said, 'Why are you walking like a little kid? Be careful.' You all have to learn this sweet line from him." Her fans filled the comments section, praising how gentle and romantic he sounded. Reading through them, a knot of irritation tightened in my stomach. I angrily tossed the phone onto the bed, just as Liam walked out of the bathroom, a towel around his waist. He looked confused by my expression, but came over to wrap me in a hug. Then he noticed my phone, picked it up, and watched the video. As he watched, the color drained from his face. "Sarah, let me explain," he said quickly. "I was just passing by on my way home, and she tripped and fell right into me." He looked so genuinely wronged that it was almost comical. I raised an eyebrow. "And the part about her being a little kid?" Liam looked even more helpless. "I just meant that she's a grown woman, yet she can't seem to walk in a straight line. She almost knocked over the desserts I bought for you." At that, I couldn't stop a laugh from escaping. Seeing me laugh, Liam relaxed and laughed too. He hugged me tightly, then picked up my phone to send Clara a direct message, asking her to delete the video. After a moment, a reply came through. "How about we add each other on a messaging app and talk about it in private?" Liam didn't bother replying. Instead, he found the surveillance video from the building's lobby, which included audio, and sent it to her. "If you don't delete the post," he typed, "I will share this video and tell the full story to your fans." The footage clearly showed how annoyed Liam had been during the brief encounter. Clara remained silent for a long time before the video finally came down. I thought that would be the end of it, but to my surprise, the doorbell rang the next evening. When I opened the door, Clara was standing there holding a small cake. She was wearing a revealing spaghetti strap top and smiled sweetly when she saw me. "Is Liam home?" she asked. "I need to speak with him." I looked her over from head to toe. "You can talk to me." She kept trying to glance past me into the apartment. When she saw Liam's shadow moving behind me, she suddenly pushed her way inside. "Liam, I made this dessert myself as an apology," she said, placing her hand lightly on his arm. Liam's face turned dark. Without hesitation, he pushed her hand away and guided her firmly to the door. "Miss, showing up at my home uninvited at night is inappropriate. You've startled my wife." "Liam, I don't have an agency yet," she said, her voice turning soft and pleading. "I was hoping you might sign me." That's when it all clicked. Clara must have discovered that Liam was the CEO of Apex Corporation. Liam looked at her coldly. "I don't handle those matters. My wife is in charge of the company's artist management. It's up to her." Clara turned to me with a sheepish smile. I just rolled my eyes. "I don't approve," I said flatly. "You don't meet our company's standards." Then I shut the door in her face. A few days later, I saw Clara again, this time at our company. She had officially joined. On her first day, she brought small gifts for everyone in the department. People were whispering, and it was obvious she hadn't gone through the normal interview process. Some were already suggesting that she had gotten the job because of a special connection to Liam. She didn't deny the rumors, she just smiled, letting them swirl around her as she gathered a small crowd of admirers, acting as if she already owned the place. When she saw me, she handed me a small gift box with a triumphant smile. "Sarah, even if you tried to stop me, I would still find a way in," she said sweetly. "If you cross me, there will be consequences. You might want to humble yourself." I didn't let her childish words get to me, but I was curious about how she had managed to get into the company. I trusted Liam completely, but I couldn't rule out the possibility that other people were trying to stir up trouble. Sure enough, Liam called me to his office not long after. Our relationship wasn't public knowledge at the company, a fact he reminded me of. I had worked hard to get to my position, and I didn't want anyone to think I had risen through the ranks by relying on him. Liam looked visibly annoyed. Sarah, Clara was brought in by Evelyn, he said. I'll deal with it. She won't be here for long. Evelyn was Liam's stepmother. She always put on a caring facade, but behind the scenes, she made life difficult for him. I had only learned later how miserable his life had been before he inherited the company from his father. It was no wonder I had never liked her. Evelyn also had a video channel where she flaunted her luxurious lifestyle and had gathered quite a following. It was strange. She never cared much about others, so her sudden investment in Clara was suspicious. I smiled at my husband. No, honey, be nice to her. Let her think she's safe for now. Liam stared at me. You're up to something again, aren't you, you little rascal? Clara had uncovered Liam's true identity, and all her efforts were clearly aimed at him. I had no intention of letting her behavior go unchecked. I gently smoothed out the wrinkles in Liam's tie. You know what they say, I said softly. The higher you climb, the harder you fall. I want her to fall so hard, she never dares to touch what is mine again. I had always had a strong personality. Marriage had softened me a little, but when it came to people like Clara, I had no plans to hold back. I was in charge of the artist management department, and as if trying to provoke me directly, Evelyn had arranged for Clara to be placed under my supervision. At first, Clara seemed well behaved, but it didn't take long for her true colors to show. She began bringing gourmet lunch boxes to Liam's office every day. Liam never accepted them. Instead, he always made sure to offer them to me first, a small gesture that was enough to keep me feeling secure. With time, Clara grew bolder. Everyone in the office noticed how often she visited Liam's office, and even Evelyn seemed to have taken a liking to her. Sometimes Evelyn would stop by to chat with her, offering a friendly pat on her hand and saying, "If things ever get tough for you here, just let me know." Clara resumed posting her videos, once again drawing attention with her fabricated stories about the bossy neighbor. Her fan base continued to grow. Out of curiosity, I clicked on one of the videos. There she was, looking both shy and sweet as she smiled into the camera. Girls, guess what? I'm officially working with my bossy neighbor now, she announced. She went on with a story, mimicking a conversation. The bossy neighbor said, "My cooking's amazing." But then he suddenly got all romantic and said, "Girls don't need to cook. They just need to be loved. He's just too smooth." Then she added with a wink, "That last part is a total lie." I showed the video to Liam. He looked shocked. "Sarah, I swear I didn't eat her cooking. I only told her not to bother making food for me anymore." I covered his face on my phone screen and muttered, "Nope, I'm allergic to bossy neighbors. I don't want to see you right now." Liam looked genuinely hurt. "Babe, I can't deal with her anymore. I'm going to fire her right now." I stopped him with a laugh. "Come on, hubby, hang in there. It's not easy being a man. Be strong." Liam slumped onto my shoulder, his hands getting a little too comfortable. "Then you owe me compensation for the emotional stress," he said with a smirk. Before I could push him away, he had already pulled me under the covers. Just then, his phone rang. It was a voice call from Clara. Liam frowned, but I reached over and answered it. Clara's syrupy voice came through the speaker. "Liam, I'm out of shower gel. I'm standing outside your door. Can you let me in?" She sent a selfie right after, showing her in a bathrobe, revealing a generous amount of collarbone. I raised my voice deliberately and spoke into the phone. "Hubby, it's bedtime." Then I hung up. I turned to Liam, teasing. "So, some girl is standing at our door dressed like that in the middle of the night. You're not going to check on her?" The phone rang again. It was Clara. Liam turned off his phone, pulled me close, and said, "She can stand out there all night for all I care. I'm far more interested in picking up where we left off." And he didn't wait another second. The next morning, when I saw Clara at the office, she looked miserable, with puffy eyes and sneezing nonstop. I chuckled to myself. That was what she got for dressing so lightly and standing outside all night. Clara was still young and couldn't hide her frustration. She came up to me and said she wanted to do a photo shoot, asking if I could accompany her. I found it amusing. "I manage your schedule, Clara. Going with you to a photo shoot sounds more like your assistant's job, don't you think?" The assistant manager walked over with a smile. "Manager Sarah, you know Clara's status. Why not join her? It will be a fun outing. The company will cover the cost." Clearly, he wanted to please both of us without stepping on anyone's toes. Clara smirked and said in a deliberately pointed tone, "Sarah, over here." I looked at her calmly and patted her on the shoulder. "Call me manager. We're not that close, so stop pretending we are." Then I leaned in and whispered in her ear, "Don't forget, I still manage your resources. And Liam and I are not divorced yet. Are you sure you want to keep talking to me like that?" Her eyes widened, and reluctantly she called out, "Manager." I smiled. "See, that wasn't so hard. Why make me scare you into it?" The plan was to do an outdoor shoot. Clara had chosen the theme and location. I had no interest in spending time with her, so I took a separate car to the meeting place. I arrived right on time, but after waiting for half an hour, there was still no sign of her. That's when I realized she was playing games. I called her twice with no answer. On the third try, she finally picked up, pretending to be surprised. "Oh, manager, did I forget to tell you? I thought the location wasn't suitable, so I changed it. So sorry, my mistake. You'll have to come to the new place." The new site was over 2 hours away. "Clara, you're doing this on purpose." "So what if I am?" "Hurry up, manager. We're waiting for you." I ended the call and rang Mark, the photographer in charge of her shoot. I explained what had happened. "Got it," he replied. "We'll be there soon." Mark's team had worked with our company for years, and we had a good relationship. He hated workplace drama and had no patience for people who played games. There was no way he would tolerate Clara's behavior. Since she had gone out of her way to inconvenience me, I decided to let her embarrass herself in front of everyone. I found a nearby cafe, ordered a drink, and waited. A few hours later, Mark and his crew arrived. I handed them drinks and smiled. "Sorry for the trouble." "It's not your fault. This is on Clara," Mark said. "I never thought she would actually act like this." I nodded. Clara always played the innocent victim, and men often fell for it until they saw her true colors. We had just started chatting when Clara showed up. Her makeup was a mess from the long journey, and her mood had clearly soured. She didn't bother hiding it. "Sarah, you're shameless," she snapped. I took a bite of my donut and smiled. "Miss Clara, if you don't start the shoot soon, the sun will go down." Flustered, Clara rushed to fix her makeup and get ready. Mark's team was top tier and difficult to book. If she missed this opportunity, she would have to wait a long time to get another one. During the shoot, she struggled to focus. Even with Mark's expert guidance, the photos turned out mediocre at best. He was a perfectionist and wouldn't settle for subpar work. After hours of shooting without any good results, Mark finally called it quits. "Miss Clara, we'll have to reschedule. After today, I don't think there is a need for further collaboration between us." Clara panicked and tried to explain, but Mark simply walked away. After he left, I pulled Clara aside and grabbed her arm. "Clara, my patience has its limits," I said, keeping my tone firm. But she didn't back down. "What are you going to do?" she sneered. "Hasn't Liam told you? I'm a black belt in Taekwondo." By the time we returned to the office, it was already late and the building was nearly empty. I told Liam everything that had happened that day. He sat there, stunned. "She's actually that malicious. You handled it well, honey." But the moment I mentioned Mark's name, Liam's expression shifted. I could see the jealousy flare up in his eyes. "You brought Mark into this? Great. Now that guy gets another chance to act like your bodyguard." Back when Liam and I weren't a couple yet, Mark had pursued me quite seriously. Even now, Liam still gets touchy whenever his name comes up. I was about to calm him down when Clara suddenly barged into the office. "Liam, don't be mad because of me. It's all my fault today," she said, completely misunderstanding the situation. She had overheard Mark's name and assumed Liam was angry because of the incident at the photo shoot. At that point, I was just speechless. Her logic was truly something else. I told myself that messing with someone like her was just a waste of energy. To keep tabs on her, I created a fake social media account and started quietly following her video posts. Her fans had begun asking why the promised photo shoot hadn't happened. She replied, "The manager's sister suddenly called the photography team away. It was probably unintentional, so let's not blame her." And just like that, she played the innocent card again. She even posted a selfie on another platform, her eyes slightly red. her face tilted in a pitiful expression. The caption read, "When others throw mud at me, I plant lotus flowers with it." In just a few words, she shifted all the blame onto me while making herself look like the victim. Her fans bought it immediately, calling her sweet and misunderstood. One comment even urged the CEO neighbor to stand up for his little sweetheart. I read the comment aloud to Liam, the actual CEO sitting right next to me. He closed his eyes, groaning. "I think I'm going to throw up, thanks." I logged into my fake account and typed out a comment. "Worked with Clara today. She changed the shoot location without any notice, so the session couldn't be completed. I feel worried for her. Hope her future work goes more smoothly." Then, I made my own post. Luckily, I had my husband with me, wishing the best for both of us. I attached a candid photo of Liam sitting on the bed and hit post. Liam glanced at the screen, confused. "Babe, what are you doing?" I smiled mysteriously. "You'll see. Just wait. Don't worry about it." After the failed photo shoot, Clara seemed unable to sit still. The mood at the office shifted completely. Normally, when I arrived, everyone would greet me with smiles, but the next day, they acted as if I were invisible. Instead, they were all gathered around Clara, showering her with compliments. "Clara, you're always so generous, always bringing us gifts. You're just too kind. No wonder Liam likes you. You're sweet. Unlike certain people who only know how to backstab." I didn't need to guess who those last words were aimed at. These people weren't major players. Most of the time, they were friendly only because I was the manager. But now, with Clara clinging to the imagined title of the boss's wife, they clearly had no interest in staying on my side. Clara's greatest skill was that she never got her own hands dirty. She let others do the talking while she remained the innocent bystander. When it was time for a scheduled live stream, I went to gather the team as always, but this time, no one showed up. One assistant, pale and hesitant, finally spoke up. "Manager, they said they don't want to broadcast today. They don't want to work with a backstabber." I found it oddly amusing. Well, that's their job. If they don't want to do it, I won't force anyone. I opened my fake account again and wrote another post. Clara and her group suddenly decided not to participate in today's live event. Maybe work feels too tiring when you have so many fans. It's not my place to say more. Soon, Clara's fans noticed the previous post I had made with Liam's photo. They flooded my comment section with insults. "Isn't this the CEO's wife? Does it feel good stealing someone's boyfriend? Shameless. She stole her photos too. Who's digging dirt on her? I am, if no one else will." I smirked. It was time. Clara had to go. I made up my mind and stepped into the main office area. Everyone was chatting cheerfully, but they froze when they saw me. Clara was glowing with confidence. She had even filmed a video with Evelyn the day before, and her fans were celebrating that she had received the mother-in-law's approval. They were saying marriage to the CEO was just around the corner. She seemed to believe the fantasy herself, already acting like the boss's wife. I looked around the room. "Who doesn't want to join the broadcast today? Step forward." They exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what to do. Then, Clara stepped forward confidently. "We just don't want to work with certain backstabbers," she said. Seeing her lead, the others quickly followed, eager to stay in the good graces of the supposed future Mrs. Boss. Just as I was about to respond, a voice came from behind me. "What is going on here?" Liam walked over and wrapped an arm around my waist. Someone must have gone to find him when they saw me about to confront Clara. Knowing her standing in the company, I explained the situation briefly and gave Liam a small wink. It was time to let her go. Liam understood. He nodded. "Clara," he said, his tone cool. She looked up, trying to sound gentle. "Liam?" But he ignored her completely. "Since everyone has made their choices, we won't force it," he announced to the group. "You will not be participating in future events." Their faces turned pale. They had only wanted to cozy up to Clara, never expecting Liam to show up and cut them off so cleanly, leaving them in an awkward mess. As for Clara, Liam didn't hesitate. "You can pack up your things and leave." Clara's face drained of color. "Liam, you can't fire me just like that. That's not legal." Liam let out a short laugh. "Is it not? You came into this company through Evelyn. I never signed any contract with you." Then he pulled me closer. I have never liked discussing personal matters in public, which is why my relationship with Sarah was kept private. But now, I realize it's time for everyone to know. Sarah is my wife. The room went silent. The flattery that had been so warm moments before turned into cold, hostile stares, all aimed at Clara. People realized they had backed the wrong person. They had been played like pawns. After Clara left the company, Evelyn began calling Liam repeatedly. Liam, Clara made a mistake, but you should give her a chance to fix it. Young girls have it tough. Liam replied calmly, Evelyn, you are overstepping. Let me remind you, I am the one running Apex now. Seeing that her words had no effect, Evelyn finally hung up. Even if she preferred Clara, she wasn't about to risk offending Liam over a single employee. Still, I had a feeling things were far from over. Clara might have been removed, but I knew she wouldn't go down so easily. Taking someone down means hitting them where it hurts most, and I hadn't found her weak spot yet. I also knew that as long as I stayed by Liam's side, my dear stepmother would never be at ease. As I expected, just a few days later, Evelyn called Liam and warmly invited him to her birthday party. Evelyn loved putting on a show. Her birthday parties were lavish affairs, famous for drawing half of the city's social elite. In past years, Liam and I had always skipped them. We couldn't stand Evelyn's attitude. But this year, her sudden friendliness was too suspicious to ignore. Not long after, Clara posted a new video. She had filmed herself attending Evelyn's birthday celebration. Wow, Clara went to her mother-in-law's party. Where's the big boss? Can't wait to see them in a photo together, the comments read. When Liam and I arrived at the party, we scanned the room, and sure enough, Clara was there. Evelyn was proudly leading her around, introducing her to guests and raising toasts, acting as if Clara were family. They were both clearly caught off guard when they saw me. They hadn't expected me to show up. I walked over with a smile. Miss Clara, it seems Evelyn really adores you. From an outsider's perspective, one might even mistake you two for mother and daughter. Evelyn nearly dropped her glass. Please don't say things like that. Everyone is watching. I laughed lightly. I'm only teasing. Why are you so nervous? I tilted my head, pretending to be confused. Clara's eyes widened when she saw me. Sarah, what are you doing here? Standing beside me, Liam said calmly, Miss Clara, Sarah is my wife. Why wouldn't she be here? But you. Why are you in my house? Clara's face turned white. Evelyn gave her a sharp look and she quickly fell silent, following Evelyn away obediently. Not long after the party began, I gave Liam a subtle look. He nodded and excused himself, saying he was feeling unwell, then headed upstairs. Clara, just as we expected, followed soon after. From the beginning, Evelyn had been trying to get Clara to cozy up to Liam, probably hoping she could use alcohol to lower his guard. I had seen through their plan early on, but Liam never gave them a chance to act. Since their plan was going nowhere, I decided to give it a gentle push. I waited patiently downstairs. Soon enough, Liam gave me the signal. Suddenly, the butler rushed over in a panic. Madam Sarah, there has been a break-in. Someone was found in your room. I acted shocked. What? How could that happen? Everyone, please come with me. The guests, all from prominent families, were curious and eager to see what had happened. Evelyn tried to stop us, sensing something was wrong, but it was already too late. By the time we reached the room, Clara had already been caught by the butler. She tried to hide her face, but it was no use. The guests had seen her, and whispers quickly spread. Just then, Liam stepped out of the next room, looking perfectly calm. What is going on? Clara was stunned. No, this can't be. I saw you enter this room myself. Everyone understood immediately. Their eyes turned cold. The truth was out. Clara panicked. No, it's not what it looks like. I stepped forward and said clearly, Miss Clara, you are not welcome in this house. Please leave. Otherwise, I might have to involve the police. Clara clenched her fists. You just wait, she muttered before storming off. After she left, I bent down and picked up a strand of hair she had dropped. Clara's reputation had already taken a few hits among the upper class before. Because of her job, she had still been able to socialize in these circles. But after tonight, she had lost all respect. No one would take her seriously now. Still, Clara was not one to sit back and sulk. She quickly launched a live stream, crying and claiming she had been wronged. She said her manager had fired her and that her mother-in-law had been the only one offering her comfort. Evelyn even sent her gifts during the stream, clearly still supporting her. Her fans were outraged. That manager again. Is Clara okay? Someone must be jealous of her. That woman's so evil. Her mother-in-law is an angel. The power of the internet moved fast. Within hours, people had found me. My phone was flooded with hate messages and prank calls. Someone even leaked my old ID photo. Stories from my past surfaced, like the time I had been expelled from high school for fighting. Suddenly, my name was being dragged through endless gossip and rumor. Liam took my phone gently. Don't look at it, love. It breaks my heart. The high school story was true. I had grown up in a foster home and was often bullied. One time, a few boys cornered me in an alley. I had learned Taekwondo, so I fought back. They were no match for me, but they came from wealthy families, so in the end, I was the one expelled. I had fought hard to rebuild my life. I worked my way into Apex Corporation, and that was where I met Liam. He held me tightly in his arms. It's okay, he whispered. It will all be over soon. Liam acted quickly. Before long, all the negative posts had disappeared. He went on social media, got his account verified as the chairman of Apex Corporation, and made an official statement. He declared that he had only one wife, me, Sarah, and announced that defamation lawsuits were already being prepared. He even uploaded our wedding photos and tagged my account to make everything crystal clear. I followed up with a long post of my own, including security footage of Clara delivering things to Liam outside our house, along with a detailed explanation of my complicated past. Mark also stepped forward to clarify the photoshoot incident. The post exploded online. Suddenly, everyone who saw Liam's tag started flooding into my account, which I had been using like a diary ever since Clara joined the company. I had shared daily moments with Liam. Little things, nothing special at the time, but now all of it had become solid proof. Clara had no way to deny it anymore. The public finally saw the truth. Comments poured in. So Clara was lying the whole time? I actually believed her. This is the real big boss and his sweet wife. Clara is such a snake. And the boss lady still wished her well in those old posts. She's so kind-hearted. To top it off, Liam launched a retweet contest promising to give $100,000 each to 10 lucky winners. People went wild. This was the real Liam, the boss everyone admired and the woman he loved. Once everything had been verified and the public was firmly on our side, Clara quietly deleted all her posts, removed her profile photo, and took down her videos. But it was too late. She was already being sued for secretly recording Liam and trying to ruin my reputation. With Clara mostly out of the picture, it was Evelyn's turn. Liam placed a paternity test in front of his father, Matthew. Dad, you probably didn't know this, but our kind stepmother had another daughter with her first love even after marrying you. Matthew stared at the report, stunned. Then he turned and slapped Evelyn across the face. You traitor! I treated you well, I married you not long after Liam's mother passed away, and this is how you repay me? Evelyn glared at me. It was you, Sarah. You figured it out. How? I answered calmly. At the party, you were so emotional when Clara was mentioned. I made a guess. Your reaction gave it away. I looked into it and found the truth. Evelyn had once left her first love to marry Matthew, but with Matthew always away on business, she and her old flame rekindled their relationship. Clara was the child they kept hidden. After her lover passed away, Evelyn wanted Clara to get close to Liam, hoping to secure their place at the top of Apex. She had planned it all to take over the company for her daughter. Liam then laid out more evidence. Over the years, Evelyn had embezzled money, altered financial records, and accepted bribes. Matthew rubbed his forehead, exhausted. Call the police right now. He filed for divorce and had Evelyn arrested. On the day Evelyn was taken away, Liam watched with a grim smile. Don't worry, he told her. I'll make sure you are well taken care of, just like you did for me when I was a kid. Evelyn's face turned pale. Please, I didn't mean it. Don't do this to me. I stood beside Liam, holding his cool fingertips as we watched her being led away. Stop looking at her, I whispered. You haven't looked at me properly in days. I playfully pinched his cheek, but Clara was still around. She hadn't moved out of the neighborhood, and I ran into her often. Just seeing her made my skin crawl. Liam pouted. I found a new place. In a few days, we'll move. We're tired of this neighborhood anyway. Let's start fresh. I kissed him on the lips. You're the best husband in the world. But before we could leave, I ran into Clara one last time. I was walking through the neighborhood, chatting with Liam on the phone, when I saw her coming from the other side. All the praise she once received online had disappeared after the scandal. She was like a stray, rejected by the public, abandoned by fans, and unwanted by any company. She looked thinner, her eyes empty. I felt nothing for her. She had done this to herself. Our eyes met. In hers, I saw a flash of something dark and hateful. Then my mind went blank. My heart skipped a beat as she rushed toward me. Something in her hand gleamed in the sunlight. A knife. I dropped the phone. My body reacted before my mind could. I dodged, but the blade still caught my arm, leaving a deep, burning cut. Liam, still on the call, panicked when the line went quiet. Sarah, are you all right? What's going on? I kicked the knife away and grabbed Clara's arm. Her eyes were full of rage. This is all your fault, she hissed. If not for you, Apex would be mine. My mother and I should have had everything. You should be the one rotting in prison. I gripped her face and said coldly, You did this to yourself. You have no place in my life or Liam's. Go join your mother in jail. I called the police. When Liam arrived, I had already wrapped my arm. He pulled me into a tight hug. You scared me. You really scared me. I could feel the anger burning in him as his fists clenched. It's my fault, he muttered. I should have kept a closer eye on her. I gave her the chance. I looked up at the sun and smiled. It's okay, remember? Your wife is a black belt in Taekwondo. Liam finally laughed, and I laughed with him. After I recovered and was discharged from the hospital, I made a decision. I resigned from Liam's company. Being forced to reveal my identity had always been my greatest fear, and now it had come true. Even though no one said anything directly to my face, I could feel the whispers. No wonder she got hired with those credentials. Of course she has someone powerful behind her. There's no way we can compete with that. I couldn't shut them up, and I didn't want to stay in that kind of environment, so I chose to leave. Liam was heartbroken. But this means I can't see you every day. What am I supposed to do if I miss you? I couldn't help but smile. I'll text you all the time, I promise. And besides, even if I leave Apex, I'm still your wife, right? It took days of sweet talking to calm him down, and in the end, I gave into a long list of unreasonable demands from him because I knew he just wanted to keep me close. Finally, he gave in. I joined a new company, and soon, work began to fill up my days. Despite my busy schedule, Liam would show up every afternoon with a bouquet of fresh flowers, waiting to take me home. My coworkers were full of envy. There's no doubt about it, you're totally living the bossy CEO romance dream. How sweet is that? They teased with playful smiles. Since everything that happened, I had started recording little moments from my daily life with Liam on a private social media account. My posts had turned into a cozy window into our world, and people were swooning over our seemingly perfect boss dynamic. To be honest, I had become a little sensitive to the phrase bossy CEO. I quickly waved off their comments and told them to stop saying it. The truth was, I felt like Liam was the real sweetheart in our relationship. Ever since I started this new job, he had been like a doting house husband, pouting every morning when I left, counting the hours until I got home, and showing up with surprise gifts. He was even nervous that some new guy at work might try to win me over. My new boss was kind, and my team was warm and welcoming. The work was intense, though, and the pace quickly took its toll. After pulling 2 all-nighters back-to-back, I passed out at my desk from exhaustion. As soon as Liam heard, he rushed over to the office. He barely took a breath before blurting out, Quit right now." I just smiled quietly at him. He looked at me, confused. "Sarah, what is that look? What are you not saying?" I looked at him gently and said, "I'm pregnant." Liam froze for 2 whole minutes. He just stood there, stunned. Then his eyes filled with tears. I'm going to be a dad? Are you serious? I couldn't help but laugh as I wiped his tears away. At that moment, my phone buzzed. A message popped up from one of my coworkers. Did you hear? Clara has officially been charged with assault. I turned off my phone without replying. Liam was still kneeling in front of me, one hand resting gently on my belly, his touch tender and careful, as if afraid to disturb the little life growing inside me. I smiled down at him, feeling nothing but warmth.